Today we will be working on strengthening our fine motor skills to get us ready to practice some handwriting. So I'm going to show you some examples of activities that you can do with your student to practice those fine motor skills and strengthening those hands. So we do all of these activities in class. So this will be nothing new to our students, but I'm just going to show you how you can do it at home. So the first one that we do is a rubber band board. So basically there's a bunch of pegs. You take a rubber band, you place it on one peg, and you stretch it to another. If you do not have one of these pegs at home, you can make one yourself. This one was made out of wooden golf tees and some styrofoam, and I just stretch them across the tees like that. I got all of this at the dollar store. Okay. So the next one is some Play-Doh. Now I gave you some Play-Doh when we first let out of school, but it's probably dried kind of like mine, but you can make homemade Play-Doh, or if you have Play-Doh at home, you can use that as well. So one thing that helps strengthen our hands is just to squeeze the Play-Doh with one hand and then the other, and to roll it kind of into a ball. Okay, so that's one activity. Another activity is just to take these two, the thumb and the pointer finger, and just pinch the Play-Doh so that it's flat. Okay, and the third thing we like to do with Play-Doh is just to roll it. Mine is too dry to roll, but you just would roll it like a snake and make it into a snake. Okay, the next activity, you just need some straws. This is a thicker smoothie straw. This is just a regular straw, and you will need a Q-tip. So, or you could even use like a toothpick if you wanted. Anything that you can stick in here. So what you do is you just have your student, you either hold the straw or have them hold the straw, but they're just going to kind of thread those Q-tips into the straw like that. They can even shoot them when they're done. It works with the thinner straws as well. So it fits in there. It's just a little bit more difficult. So if your student needs a challenge, or this is all you have on hand, you can use a thinner straw as well. Okay, the next activity, you just need pipe cleaners and some beads. And this activity is very simple. You pre-thread the beads onto the pipe cleaner, and you just have your student use their fingers to take the beads off one at a time and put them somewhere like a bowl. Okay, then the next activity also involves a pipe cleaner, but this time your student is putting the beads on. So this is significantly more difficult. You might need to hold the pipe cleaner for your student and have them put the beads on. If you have beads that are bigger, that would be great. All I have on hand right now is pony beads, but if you had bigger beads, those would be perfect for this activity. Okay, you can also do the same thing with a string, or you can pre-thread a little string or yarn and just have your student practice moving the beads over to one side. This is also a great counting activity, so it's kind of hard to do with one hand, but essentially you would hold the string like this and your student would grab the beads and move them over like that. Okay, the next activity, you just need some like thicker paper. This is a paper plate that I cut up, and some clothespins. Your student's going to pinch the clothespins onto the paper just like that. You can tell them that they need to snap the paper clip. We talk a lot about snapping, and so they can snap, not the paper clip, the clothespin, snap the clothespin, and then pinch it onto the paper. Okay, the last activity is a scooping activity. So I have a bowl of rice here and an empty bowl, and then some sort of scoop. You can use a measuring cup if that's all you have, or if you have any old, like this is a protein shake scoop, anything like that, but your student's just going to scoop whatever, this is rice, and then dump. It does get a little messy. Even I just made a mess. So that is a great activity for scooping. They can use sand, rice, even water, and it is quite a bit of fun. Okay, once you have done one or two of these strengthening activities, then you will want to do some sort of activity where your student is actually using a pencil. So you can do a tracing page where they're tracing their name if your student is ready for that. If they're not, you may just want to practice writing within a defined space. So you give them a coloring page, or even something as simple as this. I just wrote with permanent marker on a blank piece of paper, and I would just have the student try to stay within a defined space while coloring these shapes. Okay, so for today's activity, you're going to do a strengthening activity. You're going to do some sort of work with holding a pencil and writing, and then you'll be done.